Burnout. No, not the series of racing games developed by Criterion Games. This kind. A state of emotional, physical, and mental exhaustion. It's brought on by prolonged or repeated stress in various areas of life. Or, if you're like me, a light being the wrong color. Or signing up to review 5 games in a month. Hi, I'm Cute Spooky, and this is what I look like today. In this video, I'm sharing 5 games that have healed me during periods of burnout, starting with the one that gave me this video idea, Visions of Mana. Visions of Mana is the latest game in the mainline Mana series, a series that was taking a nap for the past 17 years. It was developed by a studio that's already on its way out, thanks to a company nobody likes. That aside, it is one of the most beautiful games I've ever played. I said in my birthday video that Ghost of Tsushima held that title, and that still remains true for the more realistic art style side of the spectrum. As for the hyper-stylized cartoonish games, Visions of Mana is the heavyweight champion. And it's coming in with a steel chair! I believe it is the vibrant magical world paired with a beautiful soundtrack that perfectly matches each area that healed me the most. I've spent a lot of time in this game walking around slowly in certain areas to take all of it in. It's too difficult for me to describe the sensation this gave me, so I'm going to show you some of my favorite areas along with their soundtracks without talking, and maybe you'll feel a slice of it. What do you think? This game is flawed in a few ways, which I'll save for my upcoming review video. Subscribe so you don't miss that. But it's moments like this that keep me coming back. I love games with worlds that give me a natural desire to explore them, where they're crafted so lovingly and thoughtfully that you don't need to sprinkle shiny treasure around to get me to go off on an adventure. I highly prefer this kind of design over huge open world games with absolutely nothing of interest to see. Playing Visions of Mana reminded me of a game that has healed me during multiple periods of burnout, and that is Ni no Kuni 2. It's another game with a charming magical world and a cat boy with a weird blonde haircut. I enjoyed the first game in the series as well, and I own both on multiple platforms. I have to warn you not to play the Switch version of Ni no Kuni 2 because it runs atrociously, and they didn't adapt the UI to fit the screen properly, so all of the text is super tiny and hard to read. And we're all gonna collectively agree that this abomination doesn't exist. Ni no Kuni 2 is the game I've spent the most time with in the series. I've beaten it multiple times, and I platinumed it on PlayStation. I still want to do another playthrough on PC and get through all of the DLC, even if it is a grind fest, because I've never successfully done that before. You play as a child furry and a guy with a gun. I should have already sold you on it. If that didn't, maybe Bracken will. It's got that Ghibli charm to it, even though the studio wasn't involved in the second game. You feel like you're playing inside of a fairy tale, and you even get to build up your own kingdom. I know not everyone enjoyed it, but I love that there's a kingdom management system mixed in with the typical action JRPG gameplay loop. It's so satisfying watching it go from a few buildings to a massive castle town. There are also little guys to make and collect, and I love them with my entire being. The game does get grindy at times if you're going for 100% completion, but it's that cozy JRPG grind that I love so much. Please, everyone type review Ni no Kuni 2 in the comment section below right now so I have no choice but to play this game again. I don't really want to, but if you guys insist, I will do it. Speaking of games I own on multiple platforms, Digimon Cyber Sleuth is one I've beat on PlayStation and Switch, and I own it on PC. Unlike Ni no Kuni 2, I can vouch for the Switch version of this title. This is a game I return to a lot when I'm burnt out. It kind of plays the role that Pokemon used to in my life, since I don't have my DS or Game Boy collection with me, and none of the recent Pokemon games make me want to return to them. I didn't even bother finishing the mess that was Violet. Digimon in general deserves more love. It's hella underrated. Yeah, it has a weird evolution system where a cat can turn into a hot lady, but hey, don't think about it too much, just enjoy the plot. The story in Cyber Sleuth had a darker tone to it than I was used to in Pokemon games, which I found refreshing. I loved being a detective, and while the writing was cringy at times, the story kept me engaged. It's one of those games where the writing isn't great, but it's charming. Getting every Digimon evolution is a very grindy process, and if I remember correctly, there are even some you can't get in your first playthrough. It's so worth it though, because the final forms of Digimon are so cool. The game also has repetitive dungeon design, but I come with the Spectrum buff where I enjoy doing the same thing over and over again, so the grind and the sameness of level design is comforting to me. It's hard to recommend this to other people at full price, but the complete edition does go on sale often and comes bundled with the sequel and DLC for both games as well. These last two games, or series rather, are ones that I play only when I'm burnt out. It's strange to think about, but I own nearly, if not all, of the games for each of the series, but I never play them with the intention of completing them, and I restart them a lot. They're so comforting to me, but I don't approach them the same way I do other games. Maybe that's how they keep feeling the way that they do. The first is the Neptunia series, and the game I'm choosing to represent it is the spin-off title Cyber Dimension Neptunia: Four Goddesses Online. This is a series that's hard to recommend to other people because in general, the games range from mid to bad. The writing is cheesy and full of fan service. The series is pretty much one big meme. Each goddess represents a different gaming console. Neptune, the main character, represents the cancelled Sega Neptune. Noir represents PlayStation, Blanc represents the Wii, and Vert represents Xbox. The exact console may differ between each title, but all of the major gaming companies are represented through the main characters' designs. The plot has to do with console wars, and the writing is heavily steeped in gaming and weeb culture. It's cringy, but it embraces the cringe. The gameplay is fairly mindless and grindy, and it is a series that does not shy away from reusing assets. The reason I chose the spin-off title Four Goddesses Online is because I think it's the best game in the series. At least, it's the one I've put the most time into. It's not a good one to start off with because you're not going to understand the jokes and references. You could easily choose to not care about any of that because none of it is that serious anyway. The game plays like a fake MMO, as the premise is the girls are playing the early access version of the game together. There are 12 characters to choose from, and they have different classes and fighting styles. There are dungeons, quests, and raids. Battles are real-time action hack and slash rather than turn-based, unlike the battle system in the main series. Just like real MMOs, the best part of the game is fashion. You can equip up to 5 accessories and have full control over where to place them. You can even alter how big they are, so you can get crazy with customization. Those huge fairy wings that are supposed to go on your back could become a cute hair clip if you want. Let your main character syndrome go wild. They even have paid cosmetics. What idiot would buy that? I must have a thing for fake MMOs, because the last series I'll be talking about is Sword Art Online, specifically Lost Song. SAO is another series of games that's hard to recommend to others, because again, the games range from mid to bad. As for people who enjoy the series, I rarely see people listing Lost Song as their favorite, but this is the only one that hooked me for a lengthy period of time. It takes place in Alfheim Online, the world of fairies and magic, which means you get wings and can fly around. This is what hooked me for so long. Flying around and fighting in the sky was so fun. We need more games where you can fly around. It's so satisfying and relaxing. There's a difference between having a flying mount and being able to fly yourself. Mounts are usually big and bulky and restrict your movement and actions in significant ways. You typically need to dismount before taking your next action. Being able to fly around yourself makes it all one seamless action. This game has all of the stuff you'd expect from a fake MMO, so the gameplay loop does get repetitive. I don't remember a single thing from this story. Honestly, I probably tuned out. I don't care about the Sword Art Online story. I can't stand Kirito and his harem. I enjoyed the first half of the first season, and that's it. However, I enjoy playing fake MMOs, and it's a niche genre, so I play what I can get. Sometimes you just want to shut your brain off and do mindless quests and fly around like a pretty fairy. What about you guys? What games have healed you, and how badly do you want me to replay Ni no Kuni 2? Let me know in the comment section below. Like the video if you enjoyed it. With that out of the way, I hope you're living today in a way you won't regret, and I'll see you in the next one. Pook, out.